or call 1-877-223-7030.
Hi, I'm Robert Osborne. We're taking a look at biographies made by the very talented team of David Heeley and Joan Kramer. Both David and Joan are back again with me to give insights into the making of these rare films. Welcome back, both of you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good to have you here.
It's great to be
Nice
here.
to be here.
Now, not only have David and Joan made many biopics about some of Hollywood's most impressive stars, they've also written a book about doing just that. The book called In the Company of Legends, which is being released this month. Well, up next is a family of personalities, the Fondas, in an intimate bio documentary called Fonda on Fonda that Joan and David made, which was first shown in 1992. How did this come about?
Well, we first met Henry Fonda when he'd completed On Golden Pond, and we were doing a profile of Katharine Hepburn. I mean, at the time we said, we'd love to do a show about you, and he said, great, just let me know. So we contacted PBS and said, as our next show, we'd love to do Henry Fonda. And they said, we'll get back to you. Well, they didn't get back to us for quite a long time. And eventually we got that phone call you don't want to get, which was saying, well, we've decided to pass on your documentary about Henry Fonda. Later that same day, we got the news that Henry Fonda had died.
Oh, wow.
But then a number of years later, we get a call from somebody at TNT. And they said, we're planning to do a show about the Fondas that Jane's going to host. Would you be interested? And we said, yes, we're longing to do a show like this. So we were invited to meet with Jane, and Jane said, I'll get Peter involved, I'll get Henry's wife Shirley involved, and you've got me, and let's go for this. The first thing we did was to have a long talk with the tape recorder with Jane to pick up all her feelings about her father. And we also managed to find some archive recordings of Henry. So in the end, we had the whole Fonda family talking about Fonda, including Henry himself.
And not long after that, we spent an entire day in the Fonda house in Bel Air with David and Shirley running up and down the basement stairs, where she brought and he brought boxes and boxes and boxes of memorabilia, home movies, paintings, lithographs. Henry Fonda was a great artist.
What surprised you the most about Henry Fonda, the more you got to know him and doing research on him?
He felt like a very distant figure at first, but the more we researched, the more depth we found to him. Jane was also quite wonderful. She said, I want you to talk to a range of people, not just the people who are going to say wonderful things about him. I want you to talk to all the people he worked with that will talk to you. And Joan had an interesting conversation with
Anne Bancroft was one of them, because he did Two for the Seesaw with her. And, you know, Henry Fonda did not have any patience for method actors. And Anne Bancroft was a method actor, as is Jane. And Anne Bancroft said to me, look, I really don't want to have a conversation about the working relationship between me and Hank. If Jane wants to talk to me, I'll be happy to talk to her, but I don't want to have this conversation. And I said, fine, I totally understand and I respect that. But I thought that was very interesting. She didn't want to talk about it.
Right.
But Jane was completely open and honest, as she said, and we saw Jane well up many times along the way, and she, as she always said, she said, my father always said, the Fondas cry at a stake.
Well, let's have a look. Here it is. Hosted by Jane Fonda and featuring Peter Fonda and Shirley Fonda as well. From 1992, Fonda on Fonda.